Hi, this is Tweek. Welcome to another episode of Tweeks with Tweek. So why am I holding a pickle jar? Because I'm going to take leaves of the season and create a beautiful nightlight. So join us. Supplies you'll need for this project are a jar. I'm using a pickle jar today, but you could use a ball jar, jelly jar, anything that's glass. I even have a honey jar that I used. You'll need some fabric leaves. You will need some glue and some beading wire and a selection of beads, your choice, whatever you like that matches the leaves that you're going to use. You'll need some curling pliers and some regular cutting pliers. And you will also need some copper. A copper chore girl would work right out of your kitchen, or you could get some copper mesh. You'll need some lights to put in your jar when it's finished. Have you gathered up all your leaves? Well, let's get started. I was going through my decorations and I had a lot of these fabric leaves. I like to lay them around for effect. They're beautiful in color. Got another idea though. If we soak these in a glue-water mixture, we can adhere them to materials such as glass. So that's what I'm going to do. Find the leaves you'd like to work with, and the way I get them off the plastic is very, very simple. There's a vein of plastic that holds the fabric in place. I simply come to the edge and just pull it off. Okay. So I'm getting the fabric, leaving back the plastic, and you can either throw it in the recycle bin or toss it out. We need the fabric. Next, whatever our choice of leaves are, we put them in a bin. I'm using an oil pan, plastic, and we lay the leaves in there with some glue. This could be children's glue or it could be a product that you buy at the store, but the ratio is half white children's glue and half water, and that makes a nice mixture for these fabrics to sit in and soak up some of that glue. So I'm going to add a little more. This is one of the products I bought for this, but let's shake it up first. It's water and glue, so you can make it yourself or you can buy it pre-made. And I'm just going to give these guys a really good coating. You don't have to let them soak overnight. I did just because I wanted to be ready for this project. So they're soaking. Let me get rid of the rest of my leaves. Nice for effect, but I'm going to concentrate on the ones that I'm going to attach to the glass. We've got our leaves. This is a messy project. So what I like to do is have a little container full of water near me so I can stick my hands in there to get the glue off, and then I can use paper towel to clean them off. And I need my jar. It's a pickle jar. I'm going to take the lid off. Got it cleaned. And I'm going to focus my pattern. This is a very decorative jar. Between these two decorative top and bottom spots, I'm going to focus on that part of the jar as far as adhering the fabric leaves. So pull one out, and as you can see it's saturated. And just use your fingers and just very gently, lightly, you don't want to really squeeze it, just knock some of that glue back. This is where I'm saying I have this ready to get it off my fingers in a paper towel. And then we're going to lay it on the jar. I'm just laying it here, and I'm going to hold it for a second. Then, to speed things along, I'm going to get my hair dryer, and I'm going to let it set, let the hair dryer do its thing, and dry it more quickly. Then I'm going to move around the edge of the jar and attach the leaves as I go. With the leaves, I'm going upwards and downwards, and I'll show you that pattern. The glue runs everywhere. I have a piece of protection for my table down. And if I want to, you can add more with your finger if you think a little more saturation is needed. And you can see it's laying there, but it's not attached. And I would like it to be attached. So I'm going to get my hair dryer and let that happen. I also take a little piece of paper towel to keep the jar from rolling. You can put a little buffer on either side. All right, here comes the noise. I'm just going to hold it gently. Now you'll know it's starting to dry when you can pull your fingers away and it stays put. There are little areas here that are bubbled up, That I do not mind, because as we go around, we're going to be sticking more of the fabric to itself, and that helps to adhere it. All these little spots that you see, I take a little bit of water so the glue can just wipe right off. See that? So in the end, that's what you do for cleanup, but I don't want you to worry now. As you're going around, just let the glue run. Keep the water nearby to clean off your fingers. We've got that adhered, and now we're going to pick up another one and go through the same process. One thing I do want to do better here is to see how that jar is rolling. So I just take a piece of paper towel and roll it up and make like a little bumper pad for him to stay in, so I can work without worrying about him rolling away. I do this so that he doesn't roll away. Okay. Make 2 little bumpers. Okay, now we're going to add another leaf. I'm going to angle this leaf up. This one's going down. I just want a little bit of a different pattern. So they're nice and, nice and full of glue. Just knock the glue back with your fingers. This glue dries clear, so I'm going to buddy them up a little bit. Same process, you just lay it down over the glass. Looks messy, doesn't it? And get the hairdryer, and then let that one dry, and we'll continue working around. Right, I've got them tacked down. This glue dries clear, so I'm just kind of using my finger to tack it down where I see there might be a glob of glue, just to give it a little more reinforcement there. Now that's a start. I'm going to come in down on the bottom here and fill in little gaps with smaller leaves. Same process. Got these leaves here, which I think would complement really nicely, and just pull them off the plastic and stick them in the glue. And I'm just going to do all of them because I think I want to have the option of using as many as I want to. So I am going to throw them in the glue. Messy, but fun. I want the light to shine through the fabric and a little less through the glass. So, plastic gone. Really make sure I gum up these leaves. Yeah, messy, messy, messy fun. It looks like a good one. I get everybody flipped over. it took me about 2 hours to attach all these leaves, but I just keep working on the jar until I like what I see. And now I'm just taking a little tiny bit of water, just a little bit, and just dabbing at any place where I see the glue that I don't want it there, because the glue will shine that glass right back up again, and we'll get more reflection when we put the light inside. So I'm looking around here, catching spots I think I may have missed. And there you have that part. But now, what would I like to do with that jar? It's going to be really pretty with the lights in it, but I want to do a little more, and I'll give you a few examples. This one here, this was a honey jar. And it's got oak leaves all around. And it's lit, and I just did random beads around the top, which I think is really lovely. This one here was a little more fancy-dancy. This was all just maple leaves. And I did a curly wire at the top with random beads. You can put the lid on or off. The light inside doesn't care because I'm not using real candles. This very, very simple little jar, little jelly jar. Just 1, 2, 3, 5 leaves. That's a fast project, faster than the pickle jar. And this one here is just all just oak leaves with a little bracelet of beads on the top. Cute. I think for this one, I'm going to do some copper because I think that's nice with random beads. So I'm going to take my beads. Everybody says, what kind of bead do you use? Well, I use whatever I've got kicking around, an assortment of beads here. Now what I'm going to do is take some copper wire that I had kicking around, and I am just going to unstring the wire, and I'm going to bead random couple of beads and then make a couple curly cues. All right, so I've got the end because I don't want things to roll off. And then I picked this file out of the kitchen drawer because I just like the size of it. And I'm just going to put a couple bends in the wire. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I pull it off. I have a little coil there. Pretty? Then I string on some beads. I know this is a very long piece of wire. I might not use the whole thing, but I want the option to roll it several times around this big jar. So random beads. Let's see, we've got some wooden beads here. We've got some rectangular beads. I've got some copper beads. And I put them in little patterns of 3. Pull it down to the end of the wire. Where'd you go? I lost him. Try another one. Here's one of them. Okay, be a little more careful with my wire this time. Curly cue, and I'm going to make another curly cue. So you end up with this randomness. That's what I'm going for. So I'm just going to keep going. 3 beads, a curl, all the way to the end of my wire. So I'm going to start on one side and go around and around again. And here's where, if you want to, you can pull the coils back out. I'm just going to use the coil itself to coil into the 2 ends and just hook them that way. So that's going to stay. I think it looks pretty. This needs some work though. This needs, it needs what I wanted it to have to begin with. Is one of those gold balls. I'm just going to cut that, attach this in, throw that in. You know what? I don't like that. You're not going to get it. Let's try this one. I want something there as like a little statement piece that draws your eye. Oh, and that's pretty. I'm just going to fold up the copper so it stays in place. So the wire's set, and I just kind of melded it in, wound it into itself. So you get an assortment of beads and the coils. And the statement piece here, I wanted that to have a little more around it. And I thought that would mean like just a little sprig of the leaves and maybe some of this here. Let me see here. Yeah, I'm thinking this here, if I could get it to tuck in, would be a nice little addition and it would finish off the piece. So I'm just going to pull up back on the wire here. I put it nice and tight, didn't I? And just tuck this in. You can tuck in whichever leaves you want. So where there's a will, there's a way. I tuck in some leaves, and I have, maybe not quite as I imagined, but still very pretty. This is what it looks like when it's not lit. And when we add our LED lights, turn them on. That's a pretty little nightlight, isn't it? And this is what they look like in the dark. A beautiful nightlight, ready to help keep the color in the season. And the lights are back up and it still looks lovely night or day. This is a nice way of taking a pickle jar or any other jar you have kicking around and preserving some of the fall colors that we see all about us. So if you like what you've seen here today, give us a like, subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to ring the bell so you know when another episode of Tweaks with Tweek is coming along. Until then, like I said, from pickle jar preserves to preserving the fall colors, it's beautiful. You can do it with household items and make it your own. See you again.